We're living in a digital revolution. Every aspect of our lives is tied to our technology and the internet. Like it or not, the digital age is here to stay. These days, the 20-somethings, millennials, and Gen Y whippersnappers at home in this digital world have been credited with ending some American traditions. From silly things like napkins and fabric softener to the idea of making bigger investments like a home or a car. The concept of the American dream has never been clearly defined, but as more and more opportunity has arisen from the internet, paradoxically, it seems like the American dream has become harder and harder for young people to achieve. According to a recent study by Merrill Edge, even millennials who make over $50,000 a year are unlikely to take on additional spending like buying a car. 85% say they want to play it safe with their money. But just a generation ago, recent grads were paying off college with manual labor summer jobs and buying first homes and starting families and financing brand new cars straight out of school. If you're a youth joining the workforce today, you're probably worried about paying next month's rent, let alone buying a house. So you may ask yourself, is the American dream still possible? A version of it can be if you modify your expectations, and achieving it is going to take a dramatically different approach than the one you would have taken if you'd grown up in the US half a century ago. Baby boomers were the first generation to be labeled and widely studied by economists, and they came into the workforce eager to contribute to a bustling economy. The American dream was there for the taking. All you had to do was start at the bottom and work your way up over years and years doing the same thing, usually for the same company. And for a better starting position, a college degree was accessible for many. Going to work at an office job was very different. There were no computers, let alone the internet, so most of the work was structured around repetitive tasks, paper documents, and in-person meetings at a single location with set hours and a regular commute. Weird, right? But it afforded a certain kind of stability, and that stability is part of what made the American dream possible. These days, that vision of the dream seems less and less relatable. In 2017, the total value of student loan debt in the United States was about $1.3 trillion, with the average household owing about $25K. Tuition has been outpacing the growth of consumer product prices for the last 30 years, and this shows no signs of stopping. With all this debt, the likelihood of a newly minted seeker of employment going on to buy a home or a car seems less and less plausible. And while previous generations felt confident in living off their retirement and pension plans provided by the companies they'd been so dedicated to, not to mention Social Security, millennials responded that they don't believe they'll be able to fully depend on their family or their workplaces or their government. Most believe they'll still continue to live solely off of their own savings. If you're trying to live the version of the dream your parents had, things are probably looking kind of bleak. The news isn't all bad, though. The American dream is shifting more towards independence than stability. While big companies are turning more and more to freelance work, which is growing at a rate 3 times faster than the overall US workforce, younger workers are adjusting to where the opportunity is. Almost half of working millennials consider themselves freelancers, and 29% are freelancing full-time. 71% of freelancers agreed that the amount of work they found online has increased in the past year alone. And instead of being required to remain in one location for a job, the number of people who work online and consider themselves to be telecommuters went up 115% between 2005 and 2015. This isn't just doing wonders for people's feelings of independence, it may actually be helping the economy. 30% of working people said that telecommuting allowed them to accomplish more in less time, and 80% of workers reported being less stressed and having higher morale. Even better, employee turnover was also cut in half. More than ever, people are able to work how they want and where they want, whether that be from where they live, avoiding the nightmare hellscape of rush hour, or from a beach in Bali or a cafe in Europe. To make this version of the dream possible, folks have had to start getting creative with how they stay competitive in the market, relying less and less on their conventional college educations and more on the skills that they can teach themselves, usually through the internet. According to a study by Upwork and the Freelance Union, the number of people freelancing who have completed skills-related training or education in the past year was almost double that of full-time employees. And that makes sense. Learning online opens up whole new areas of possibility for your career. It empowers you to create your own path without relying on high-priced, multi-year college experiences. And if we do say so ourselves, it's a pretty good way to get smarter about your work and taking on bigger projects and charging those clients the big bucks. So while the American dream has changed considerably, there's still hope and there's still a path forward. You may just need to ditch the house and the office for a plane ticket and a good Wi-Fi connection. And maybe some avocado toast. If you're looking to get a leg up, you should check out this free class on freelancing from Working Not Working's Justin Gignac and Claire Wasserman. It's a great overview of what it takes to be a freelancer, laying the foundation for going freelance, and it discusses all the things you need to consider before taking the plunge. If you'd like to keep up with our YouTube content, just subscribe and hit the bell so that you get a notification every time we post a new video. And be sure to check out some of our other videos like this one in our Skillshare question series. Thanks for watching.